Hello, I am Professor Chuck Bulmish. Today, we are going to study while and whereas. They are used to express direct contrast. We use whereas and while to express direct contrast. We can use while and whereas in the beginning or in the middle. When they come in the middle, we use a comma before them. Here is an example. Ali is a poor student, whereas John is a rich businessman. We can also use whereas to begin the sentence. We can also use while instead of whereas. We use a comma before while as well. We can also use while to start the sentence. It is used in the middle in this example. As you see, we start the sentence with while in this example. Let me give you another sentence, but a different one. In this sentence, while is different. It introduces an adverbial clause of time. We do not use a comma when it is used in middle to introduce adverbial clause of time.
In this sentence, while introduces an adverbial clause of time again.
While introduces a time clause in the sentence. When while is used in the middle, we don't use a comma before it. Of course, when it expresses time. However, while introduces a direct contrast here. In the first sentence, while introduces a time clause. Subordinate clause comes first, so we need a comma after the word book. While I was reading a book, comma, I fell asleep. In the sentence, while introduces direct contrast, so we need a comma before it. My brother reads detective novels, while I prefer love stories. In the third sentence, while introduces a time clause, but the subordinate clause comes second, so we don't use a comma before while. I saw one of my friends, no comma, while I was walking down the street. In the fourth sentence, while introduces a time clause, but the subordinate clause comes second, so we don't use a comma before while. Be careful, no comma, while you are doing ice skating. In the fifth sentence, whereas introduces direct contrast, so we need a comma before it. By the way, whereas always introduces direct contrast, so we always use a comma before it when it comes in the middle of the sentence. Finally, while introduces a direct contrast in the sixth sentence too. Therefore, we use a comma before it. Don't forget to use a comma before while and whereas when they express direct contrast. Yes, friends. It is enough for today. Thank you very much for your patience. Please do not forget to use a comma before while and whereas when they express direct contrast.
Do not forget to use a comma before while and whereas when they express direct contrast.